Hey guys, Irene here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to show you some simple and easy ways to transform your prints and give them that mixed media look. I recently got a Canon ImagePrograph Pro 300 printer and I thought it would be fun to play around with the prints and create something artistic. I started off with some trial prints. I used these to experiment on and try different techniques before I applied them to the actual ones. I highly recommend doing this as I would have ruined a lot more paper if I went straight into it. The first technique I will show you is super simple. I started off with printing on matte textured paper and I'm using Canson Aquarelle Rag 8.5 by 11 inches. Now here comes the fun part. I'm using Mod Podge with a glossy finish and a foam brush I got at the dollar store. I'm applying the Mod Podge all over the print, avoiding going over the white edges. I'm quite generous with the amount of Mod Podge I'm using and I'm leaving this sort of a line pattern with it. After 10 minutes or so, the coating is dry and it looks pretty cool on its own, but we will enhance it a little bit more by adding some gold ink. I like using inks because they are very liquid and they get into the crevices and exaggerate the texture. I absolutely love this technique. I think it's so easy and the effect is beautiful. It looks like an old oil painting. I hope you guys try this out. I also decided to scan the images and this is what it looks like scanned. Obviously, very different from what it looks like in real life, but also an interesting effect. So out of this one print, you can get like two very different results. For this next print, we'll use similar techniques but go a little bit further with it. I printed this image on the same Canson paper and then I took a wet cotton pad and erased some of the ink from the print. This will give it that old, distressed kind of look. Next, I will be applying gold leaf to parts of the image. I'm using just a regular paintbrush to apply the same Mod Podge to the parts of the image where I want the gold leaf to stick. Wait just a little bit for it to dry, not fully dry though, and then apply the gold leaf. You can brush off the excess gold leaf with another brush, something fluffy and dry. Now I'm using the Mod Podge again and I'm just brushing it on with that foam brush and I'm trying to give it some texture with trying out different angles and again being super generous with the amount of Mod Podge I'm using. So now the coating is dry and I'm gonna add a little bit of white acrylic paint that's really watered down to kind of go into the crevices of the texture and just start building out the different colors. Then I went with the gold ink again. I just really love the effect that it gives combined with the texture of the Mod Podge. I kind of ditched some of the paint brushes and just started using my fingers. This gave me a lot more control than the brush and let me spread the ink very easily. I'm not sure if I really like what I did next, but you know, I was experimenting. I added some orange and yellow ink to the parts of the image to give it a pop of color. Finally, I felt like it needed some more gold, so I just kind of went in and smeared that gold ink in. I really love the way this came out. I love the texture and all of the layers. It kind of looks like she is trapped behind a really dirty glass. I just love this effect. Let me know what you guys think. And here is the image scanned. So this next technique is probably the easiest one. We're just gonna add some pretty sparkles to the print. I simply just applied some highlighter with my finger to the image. This highlighter is very sparkly and has lots of glitter. Now to seal the glitter in the image, I'm applying just your regular Elmer's glue with that same foam brush. The image is printed on a matte paper and the Elmer's glue will dry matte as well, leaving the sparkles very visible. This next technique is very simple as well, but this time I'm going to be printing on glossy paper. And here I used Canon's art papers and I bought this sample pack, which was super awesome, and I could sample up all of the different finishes of the papers. The main ingredient we're going to be using for this technique is just bleach. I'm using some protective gloves here and I'm going to be applying it with a paintbrush and then smudging some of the ink with this sponge. It's a little bit hard to explain what I'm doing here, but pretty much I'm applying the bleach, letting it seep into the ink, and then you can just absorb it with the sponge or you can smudge it around with the sponge. So you can really experiment here and try out different techniques, but the bleach will pretty much take out the ink from the image, and because it's the glossy surface you can kind of spread it around, and in my opinion it comes out with a pretty cool effect. Alright, so with this next technique, we're going to be creating some more texture, but this time we're going to be using wax. This paper was from the Canon sample pack and it was the matte paper. As you can see, I'm simply melting a candle and just trying to smudge the wax, apply it, and drip it onto the image to create different kind of texture. Next, I'm applying brown acrylic paint with a sponge to the wax so that it doesn't look white anymore, and the brown just matches the background color in the image. And finally, I'm applying that gold ink again to emphasize the texture that we created with the wax. Here is another example of using the wax technique on the print. So this last technique is probably the hardest to do. I am gonna be literally embroidering flowers on top of my paper print just with the thread and needle. So I'm doing a 3D flower embroidery on top of the flowers that are already present in the picture. I thought it would look cool if the image is flat, but then the flowers pop up at you and give you some dimension. It was really fun to do this, and it was definitely challenging, but I think the outcome came out pretty cool. So this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know which technique was your favorite, and if you use any of them, please tag me on Instagram. I would love to see what you guys create. Finally, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and Happy New Year's everyone. Bye!